Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are looking at a fragrance brand and it's the house of Chris Collins. Chris Collins is a gentleman from America, and I would suggest you Google images, Chris Collins perfumer. He appears to have been chiseled by the gods. He's a former model from a large fashion house and has become a perfumer. I actually saw him at Essence last year. Very tall, very strong presence. If he walks past you in the room, you can't help but notice him. I didn't speak to him and I didn't really know anything about his fragrances. But since then, Jovoy are now carrying some of their fragrances. And Moody Boo has just done a few reviews on some of the perfumes, and they didn't sound exactly like my thing, but I was still really curious because Moody Boo's really enthusiastic about them, and so I just wanted to try them. So I didn't pick these fragrances out because of the notes or because I thought I might really love them. I picked them up out of curiosity, really influenced by Moody Boo and maybe, you know, chiseled by the gods. So I've got three here. I don't think Jovoy carry that many. They don't carry the full range, I don't think. So I only got three. We've got Danse, Sauvage, Harlem Nights and Renaissance Man. So in no particular order, because I've not smelled any of these. I wanted to do this fresh and with you lot, so you can see my very initial reactions. So I'm going to spray Harlem Nights first. I've got Fragrantica loaded up with the notes and we'll look at those in just a second. So I don't remember what the notes are on any of these at the moment. We're just going to smell it uninfluenced by what the notes really are. I'll try and explain what I get from it and then we'll go over the notes. So Harlem Nights, I smell it in the air already. It's a very bold scent. Let's pop that sample out the way. What is that? So it smells kind of boozy, like I'm not sure if it's a whiskey or a cognac, something like that. It has this woody scent to it, like your cognac's been aged in oak barrels. Yeah, it reminds me of like my dad when my dad used to have a little brandy here and there. It's kind of like that, but very woody. It's not too intense. It's a booziness I can enjoy. I don't always love booziness in fragrances. It's pretty boozy, but it's not too boozy. I'm not sure I'd wear this. I might feel that I might feel like everyone thinks I smell of booze. It's good though. It has a lift to it. Doesn't smell like it's got any citruses. It smells like there might be a little bit of vanilla in here. It's got a deep woody vanilla feel. So it's deep woody vanilla, oak barrel aged brandy or cognac or something. Very dark, rich, but not too rich. So just to explain what too rich is to me, too rich is Black Phantom by Kilian, but Angel's Share I really enjoyed. So Angel's Share had a lightness to it. It was for me very user friendly, and Black Phantom was a no-go. It was far too thick, far too sweet. This is more, it doesn't smell like Angel's Share. This smells more boozy than Angel's Share. So let's have a look at the notes. So which one are we? Harlem Nights. Right then. Oh, there is citruses in here. So the perfumer is Laurent Marron. Okay, so I thought Chris was actually the perfumer. So there we go. The perfumer is Laurent Marron. Top notes of rum. Okay, I was going cognac, brandy. It's rum, nutmeg, saffron, cloves, grapefruit and lemon, patchouli, orris root, cedar, jasmine, sandalwood, vanilla, musk and vetiver. Now let's see It's starting to smell musky, dusty musky, slightly dirty actually. It's reminding me of Zoologist's Musk Deer, which I've not reviewed yet, but it bears some similarities actually. I can't pick out the citruses or the florals, so not the jasmine or the grapefruit or the lemon. It's quite possible that the citruses are just helping it to give it that lift, because it's not too heavy. I mean, it smelled heavier to start with. It's lightening up a little bit now. This is an interesting fragrance. It's unusual, and it's not too weird. It's niche surely, but it's not that difficult to wear. I think in general probably men will be more comfortable with this. If you're talking about the general population and what people are used to from the designer world, this would probably be considered masculine if it was in a designer bottle. Yeah, because I'm really not picking out the florals. It's a light spiciness to it, but I'm not really picking specifically cloves or nutmeg. It's just a kind of like a general light spiced element to it. The booziness is subsiding, making way for sort of more musks and woodsiness. Woodsiness could potentially be coming from the vetiver, the sandalwood, the cedar, or even the patchouli. I would say this is blended to such a degree that it's actually quite difficult to specifically place quite a lot of these notes. But it makes sense. They make sense. It doesn't feel like the fragrance doesn't actually fit the notes. They make sense, but everything's really quite finely blended. Yes, that's really nice. If my boyfriend wore that, I'd be very happy. I think it's quite sexy actually. But personally, it's not sweet enough for my taste. Maybe when that vanilla comes through. I did sense some vanilla in the opening, but maybe not quite enough for me. But it's a really lovely woody kind. It was a woody scent, I'd say, more than anything now. Woody with a lift, and the rum. The rum is subsiding quite. I don't know if it will come back with any strength, but at the moment it feels like it's subsiding quite quickly from the paper. Of course, paper does not do fragrances justice, but I already have both arms have got perfume on because I've just done a review. So I had to do these on paper. If you're interested in any in particular and you want a full review, let me know. So that is Harlem Nights. Let's move on to the next one. And which are we going to go for then? What have we got here? Renaissance Man. Renaissance Man. Here we go. My little tummy's rumbling. Well, it's not that little. My tummy's rumbling because I haven't had lunch and it's nearly dinner time, so may as well just save myself for dinner now. That's information for you, isn't it? You're better off now for knowing that, aren't you? Right, Renaissance Man. Okay, let's this is completely different. So this smells like it smells to me like a vetiver and citrusy type thing. Oh, there's smoke. It's quite smoky. Maybe it could even be leathery smoky, like a birch tar. Yeah, quite smoky. But there is citrus in there to lift it up. I would guess at this as being either birch tar, maybe gaiac wood. Nothing very sweet coming along in here. I think there's some tobacco. It's almost like it's supposed to be reminiscent of maybe of a jazz club or a men, you know, like old-fashioned men's drinking club, gentleman's club kind of thing. I'm smelling sort of woods, like think of the old-fashioned furniture, old drinking men's club, old gentleman's club. Some ashtrays lying around with old like cigar butts. They're not smoking. They're just unlit used cigar butts, just a few lying around. It's almost slightly rubbery, smoky, leathery, but not to any really unpleasant or too much degree. Let's have a look at these notes. So it's the same perfume. Oh no, it's not. It's Laura Santanoni. Laure, so it's Laure. So it's not Laura, it's Laure maybe. Santanoni. Top notes are C notes. I'm way off here. Ginger, bergamot, pink pepper, honey, sage, cedar and cinnamon, tobacco, sandalwood, leather, tonka bean. Well, I would say the base notes are coming out immediately in terms of the leather and the tobacco. Now I understand, now it says C notes, now I get it. Yes, it does have that kind of marine, briny sort of feel. But I still feel like, for me, it's more of a gentleman's club smell than it's not a typical aquatic at all. Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't wear this one. It's just not my style. Again, it's not really sweet enough for me. But it's really interesting. If you wanted a different take on an aquatic, I've never smelt an aquatic like this before. Because aquatics are usually paired with fresher things. Think of the issey miyakis, the cool waters, usually quite invigorating scents with green notes or citruses. And this has got leather and tobacco in it. And smoke. There's nothing really smoky listed, but leather can be smoky. Tobacco, I guess, depending on what the perfume is going for, could potentially be a smoky note. But yeah, C notes and smoke and leather and tobacco, and then the citruses and the spices to give it some sort of lift, and the woods as a base. Really interesting. I don't think, if I think of whether do I want my boyfriend to smell like this, I'm not sure actually, because I'm not a fan of aquatics. And it's almost got a seaweed like scent to it. Not full on. Seaweed can smell almost fecal, but if it's like sitting in the sun, you know, when it's been washed up and then the sun hits it and it starts to give off quite a pungent, almost fecal element. We're not talking that. More fresher seaweed, and only, it's not too much. But I'm not a fan of aquatics, and I think I find the weird combination too weird. The C notes with the tobacco and leather. I think for me, it's a step too far. If you like the unusual and you want something and you enjoy C notes, then check it out because it's really unusual. So yeah, Renaissance Man. Now then, what have we got left? It's going to be Danse Sauvage. So I think that means wild dance in French. Danse Sauvage. Let's see. Let's see what we get from this one. Oh, that's a very familiar opening. I've smelt quite a few niche fragrances that smell a little bit like this. It's a very rich, kind of Middle Eastern type feel. Not oudi. It's like really dark woods, ebony woods. It's really nice actually. It's spicy, dark woods. There's something sweet in here as well. So far this is going to be my favourite already because there's enough sweetness here for me. It does have a slightly familiar feel though. Like, it doesn't feel as unique as the other two. It's almost Coca-Cola, but you up the spices, because Coca-Cola is obviously it's a secret recipe, but it's definitely made of certain spices. And imagine you took some Coca-Cola and then you set it in the sun and it evaporated some of the liquid, but condensed all the ingredients in the drink. Condensed Coca-Cola with the spices and dark woods. This is nice. I'm trying to think of what it's reminding me of, because there's definitely a few things I've smelt that have this similar feel, but I can't quite pick it up. It's almost cherry-ish. So it's like a slightly fruity element, like a cherry, but it's blended in, so it's not like, if you think about cherry as a smell, it's in the singular. It's not going juvenile, it's not going girly, it's not going like cherry lip chapstick. It feels like there's some sort of fruity cherry element that's mixed in with this dark woods and this condensed Coca-Cola. I quite like this. I'm curious how this will go on skin. So let's see what the notes are. Oh, this one was released in 2017. The perfumer is Marie Patricia Hurel. Top notes: cognac, plum, saffron, pepper, nutmeg, chili pepper, rose, cedar, amber, patchouli, agarwood and vanilla. So it's the plum then that's giving it that fruity feel. Cognac, maybe, but it's not very pronounced. Doesn't smell boozy, it doesn't smell alcoholic to me. And you've got saffron, pepper, nutmeg, chili pepper. They're all spicy notes, and it's a very warm fragrance. It's a hot and sweet spices. Rose, I think I can kind of imagine that it's in there, if that makes sense. Knowing that it's there, I can kind of see it, but I wouldn't have picked it out. And then it is the woodsy base. You've got cedar, amber, patchouli, oud and vanilla. But this doesn't smell like any oud in here. Potentially isn't coming out just yet, or is not it's not one of those barnyardy or fecal type ouds. And also with oud, the synthetic oud that's in a lot of perfumery aimed at the West makes me really quite nauseous, and I'm not picking up on that either. I would rather have a real oud smelling literally like a lump of poo than smell that synthetic Western oud stuff. Not that I want to smell of poo, but you know, rather that than fake oud. I do smell, it does have a slight hint of modern aroma chemicals, not to any major degree, but whether there's some amber max in here, which is one of the most annoying ingredients in the world. It's in Sauvage, it's in a lot of stuff. Whether there's a bit of that, whether there's a little bit of ambroxan, I feel like this is more aimed at mass appealing, and that's why, yeah, it does feel like there is a little bunch of modern woody aroma chemicals, but it's not overdone, it's not taking over, it's not making my throat dry. But this is probably the least unique of the three, but the most mass appealing. And for me it's the one I could wear. Depends how the base comes out, because if it does go too dry and woodsy, it would drive me crazy. But I really love the spiciness, the richness and the sweetness, but it's not too heavy. So even though it's rich, it's not really like, it's not thick, it just has a lovely depth to it. So I think we're going to leave it there because that's now 20 minutes. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've tried any of these fragrances. Are there any others from the line I need to test? And I will see you all in another video.